We're Troop 6149 and we're at Bucks and Bulls shooting with our dads.
We're gonna stand, we're gonna straddle a line like this. So if I'm standing here, my arrows are right here. If I'm standing here, my arrows are right here, so you can shoot all of your arrows without moving around a lot, because if you move around a lot, it won't be real safe, you know. And we'll shoot all 5 arrows, and then we'll hang our bow up back here, and we'll wait till everybody's done, then we'll go get our arrows, okay? Here, put this hand like right, just so you don't touch the arrow.
Okay, that's like a full vibe.
There you go.
And great.
Get a balloon! Come on, get a balloon. Aww.
My second one's gonna be a balloon.
Okay, let's see it. Whoa, that was close.
Liz, you're not.
Nice and slow. There you go. Close the left side. Nope, wrong one. There you go. Close this side. Okay, now shoot. There you go. Dan. You are close. Ooh.
Just saying. Yep, they can't hit them.
Oh.
Yep. See that, girls? You can shoot better than your dads.
Okay. We're from Almond and our troop number is 6149 and we're at Bucks and Bulls shooting with our dad for Dad and me archery.
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
Howdy folks, it's Troy again with New Life Taxidermy. It's that time of year again, the Wisconsin State Taxidermy Championships. And this year I'm throwing my hat in the ring again. I am doing a compilation of 2 wild turkeys, 1 drinking water and 1 at full strut on the top of this waterfall. So it's going to be at the Holiday Inn, February 22nd through the 25th. Saturday, February 24th, it is open to the public. It's a great time. You get to come and see some of the nation's best taxidermists and get to see some of their beautiful artwork. Some of the things you might see there could be everything from a chickadee to a full-grown grizzly. There's everything in between. Come on down on the 24th of February from 11 to 3 at the Holiday Inn in Stevens Point. You'll surely be entertained. If you're a taxidermist and you're not a member of the Wisconsin Taxidermists Association, I encourage you to join. There's a lot of benefits. If you're a member of our organization, at our state competitions, we have a vendor area where you can go buy supplies for taxidermy with a 15% discount. And some of the vendors, if you order in advance, will bring your supplies to the show, so that means you don't pay shipping. There's also live seminars. We have world award-winning taxidermists giving hands-on seminars on mounting whitetails, pheasants, fish, anything, everything. We change it up every year. So there's a lot of benefits, and not only that, we have social hours, which you get to talk to other taxidermists, and everybody asks questions, and you learn things from everybody, and it just helps you become a better taxidermist. And it's done wonders for me, and I know it'll do wonders for you. So if you'd like to be a member of the WTA, go online to www.wtainc.org. You can get the information off that website, or you can call me, Troy, at New Life Taxidermy at 715-572-1826. If you are a taxidermist and you're on the fence about joining our organization, come on down February 24th from 11 to 3. Come take a look at all the beautiful artwork. There will be representatives standing in the room, and you're able to ask questions on how they did a particular mount or how did they pull that piece off. They're willing to give their information to you. Maybe that'll push you over the edge and have you join our organization. So mark your calendar for the Wisconsin State Taxidermy Championships. February 24th, Saturday, 11 to 3. For more information, go to www.wtainc.org. See you there.
Optimizer by HHA Sports. The Optimizer Lite Ultra, voted #1 single pin adjustable sight for 10 years running. The Optimizer Speed Dial for crossbows, to-the-yard accuracy with a single reticle. And the Optimizer Horizon, offering unmatched accuracy from both short and long-range firearms. All Optimizer sight systems utilize range dial shoot technology. Ask for Optimizer at a dealer near you.
Hi, I'm Gary, and this is Bucks and Bulls Archery. Come in and shoot and try any of the top-of-the-line archery equipment in the industry. We are your #1 archery range in Stevens Point. Try before you buy so you can hit where you're aiming. Here at Bucks and Bulls Archery, 3296 Church Street, Stevens Point.
This year's 2018 Wisconsin State Taxidermy Championships are coming to Holiday Inn in Stevens Point again this year. Saturday, February 24th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. they will be open to the public, so you can come in and see their incredible artwork. Find out how you can become a member of the WTA and learn from the leaders in taxidermy. For more information, go to wtainc.org and also find them on Facebook. See you there, Saturday, February 24th at this year's Wisconsin State Taxidermy Championship. Stay warm this winter with a heated jacket from Frank's Hardware. Get your rechargeable Milwaukee Tool heated jacket in a variety of colors and styles. It's the perfect gift or something for anyone who enjoys the outdoors this fall or winter. So stop into Frank's Hardware today and get yours so you can stay comfortable before it's too cold.
This mineral is a game changer. I've put the odds in my favor. It's time to close the deal. I wouldn't change a thing. Finally, the buck of a lifetime. Real deal mineral. The results speak for themselves.
Today's closed captioning provided by Bucks and Bulls Archery, located at 3296 Church Street in Stevens Point.
Hi folks, it's Troy again with New Life Taxidermy. Today I'm going to talk to you a little about my national competition piece here. First of all, what I'm going to be doing is sticking 2 turkeys on this mount. I'm going to have a hen down here drinking water, and on top I'm going to have a full strut tom. Now, before that all took place, I had to come up with some kind of a base, and my thought was to have a springtime running waterfall, and with the snow melting, icicles, you've got tufts of grass coming up. So it was quite the project. It is a real running waterfall. I do have a pump in here, plug it in, the water runs. But the problem is when you're working with water, water has a tendency to leak everywhere. So it took me about a week to a week and a half of trying to keep it from leaking. When I thought I was all done sealing everything up, it would leak again. So it was quite the nightmare just putting this together. And I have to say, I think it turned out pretty well. It's not leaking, so I'm very happy. And but to do this, would you believe that this all was built out of a 4x8 sheet of pink styrofoam? Go to your local hardware store and get yourself a 4x8 sheet of styrofoam and turn it into rock. I do have to travel with this. I'll be heading down to Nashville in February. And so it has to be lightweight, it has to be durable. And I can see the problem I have now is I had a vision of doing this, but if you can see the height of the mount, it will not fit my pickup truck standing upward. So that means I have to lay it on its side, either that or trailer it. I am looking at laying it on its side. So I know you'll find out more about this as the season goes on here, the competition season. I'm sure I'll be touching base with you again about how I did in Nashville. I'm just hoping when I travel for 11 hours with this thing on its side that it doesn't create another leak, because when I get down there, it's not going to be good to have it leaking water on the floor. But right now everything's working real well. I'm putting the finishing touches on it. Today I'm going to start mounting my hen, which will be drinking water here, and then that way I can finish the bottom of the base here, because right now I kind of left it open. I'm not sure, you know, where the levels are with my turkey, the base that the turkey's going to be on, and how it actually sits on the base. Everything has to be level and has to look very natural. So everything, you know, there's a lot of shaving down here that I have to do to get the levels and the symmetry right. So as you can see, this fresh cut right here, all of this stuff right here was actually completed at one time. And when I stood back and looked at it, I said, it looks nice. And then I realized, well, I still have to put a turkey down here. Well, it has to be mounted to something very sturdy. And so it's a 3/4 inch sheet of piece of plywood. Well, I couldn't stick it on top of what I had done because that wouldn't look right. So then I had to cut everything, which in turn exposed my hoses and the power cord for which my waterfall is ran on. So you can see what kind of troubles you have. You have a vision of doing this, but there's not really a blueprint on how to do it. You just kind of do it and you go along. So I'm glad I got this part finished because that was a nightmare in itself. But the bottom part now was finished also, but I had to cut it wide open again. Not a real big problem. I think everything will work out fine now that I got this plywood that it can sit down and actually meet the level of the waterfall. So once I get that turkey mounted, put it on here, blend it all in around the turkey. Hopefully that'll be the bottom will be finished. And then my next problem will be up here, and that'll be with the full strutting tom. Now, I hope I have enough room up here for a full strutting tom. If I don't, I may have to crack this branch off to give the bird more room because I don't want him to look like he's scrunched up there. Because if it doesn't look good, appealing to the eye, the judges will dock you for that. So there's a lot of things that go on when you're competing. It has to really look good, and you don't want it to look like you tried to do 2 birds and squished them onto something and it just doesn't flow. And it's funny because 2 years ago when I was down there, I got docked for, the judge said about flowing because I had a tom a little higher than the hen, and he said his eyes drew him to the tom and secondary to the hen. And he said there was no flow. And I kind of laughed when I was doing this. There will be flow. There will be water flowing. So if the judge tells me there's no flow this year, I will have a chuckle with him and say, when you've got water flowing down to the hen, I have the ultimate flowing piece. So I'm hoping that works for me this year. That might be the angle I'm going for. I'm not sure. But we'll find out in February when I head down to Nashville. So behind here is I made a false rock wall. And I'm going to pull this off and show you what's behind this thing now. Might not look very glamorous when you look behind here, but this is what makes this thing tick. So basically what I did on the back side of this is I bought 3 baskets, cheap baskets at the local store, and I screwed them down to the plywood and wired them up because I needed that pink styrofoam that's behind this stuff. I needed it to be set on something rigid, so that's where I used the baskets, and I also needed it to be lightweight. So down in Nashville, they don't supply me with any power, so I had to come up with a way of having power to run the waterfall. So I've got a power converter here, and I will take and put little motorcycle batteries in here, and of course plug that in and this thing will run on its own. But for now, to show you, here's the cord, and I'm going to plug it in and we're going to see if we can get some water flow in here and see what it looks like on the front side. This is the ultimate flow right here. So if you're a judge and you're watching this, you can't get me for no flow.
Welcome to Frank's Hardware, family owned and operated since the 1940s.
Frank's Hardware on Highway 10 East in Stevens Point not only has all of your general hardware supplies, but specializes in a wide variety of products, meeting all of your paint, lawn and garden, plumbing, electrical, and all HVAC needs.
Not only do we have a new one, but we also can show you how to fix what you already have.
Did you know Frank's Hardware also offers a large variety of services? So stop on down to Frank's Hardware in Stevens Point today.
Not only do we have great products, but we got great service.
Thank you, TJ.
No problem, Harold.
Come on, Trouble.
Optimizer by HHA Sports. The Optimizer Lite Ultra, voted #1 single pin adjustable sight for 10 years running. The Optimizer Speed Dial for crossbows, to the yard accuracy with a single reticle. And the Optimizer Horizon, offering unmatched accuracy from both short and long range firearms. All Optimizer sight systems utilize range dial shoot technology. Ask for Optimizer at a dealer near you.
Real Deal G2 seeds. The results speak for themselves.
This year's 2018 Wisconsin State Taxidermy Championships are coming to Holiday Inn in Stevens Point again this year. Saturday, February 24th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. they will be open to the public, so you can come in and see their incredible artwork. Find out how you can become a member of the WTA and learn from the leaders in taxidermy. For more information, go to WTAINC.org and also find them on Facebook. See you there, Saturday, February 24th at this year's Wisconsin State Taxidermy Championship.
Hi, I'm Gary, and this is Bucks and Bulls Archery. Come in and shoot and try any of the top-of-the-line archery equipment in the industry. We are your #1 archery range in Stevens Point. Try before you buy so you can hit where you're aiming. Here at Bucks and Bulls Archery, 3296 Church Street, Stevens Point.
Today's closed captioning provided by Bucks and Bulls Archery, located at 3296 Church Street in Stevens Point.
Okay, we're here at Bucks and Bulls Archery with James from Fraternal CrossFit. He's going to teach us a little bit about staying in shape and building muscles to shoot archery and bow hunt, deer hunt, climb mountains, or climb stands, whatever we got to do.
That's right, Gary. Yeah. So one of the big issues a lot of sportsmen come around and they figure is they're not as in shape as they once were or they were in previous seasons. The off season can take a toll on sportsmen out there in the field through endurance or muscular strength. So during the off season, we want to prepare for the oncoming hunting season, whether that's archery or fishing or anything that's out in the field. A good way to do this would be going through some repetition. So as Gary, the great archer that he is, we want him to build through stability. So what I'm going to have Gary do here is draw back this bow, hold it as he would as if he was looking at a buck, and hold that position. Go ahead, Gary. He's going to hold this position now with a tight upper scapula. His arm is in flexion with his other arm being in an extension. Hold it for about a minute count. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Come out of it. Okay. Now within this, we want a rest period. So Gary's now going to rest for about 1 minute again, and then we'll draw back the bow. Go ahead, Gary. You can do it one more time. Now within this position, you want to be stable and very, very statured. So when I look at Gary here, there is no quivering in his arms. His nervous system is nice and calm, in which you should be while you're hunting, fishing, etc. But we bring the bow back down and we hit another set. Awesome, good job, Gary.
And you think it's important to start with a lighter draw weight and work your way up better to heavier draw weight, more closer to season and stuff?
Absolutely. During the off season, it is always a great rule of thumb to have some sort of preparation for the oncoming season, meaning start drawing your bow back as soon as possible. Start with a lighter weight or a lighter draw, and then start increasing the poundage. With any sort of fitness or strength activity, always start light and then get heavier.
It's like any sport though. If you want to shoot pool, if you want to swim, run track, it's a year-round commitment.
Year-round commitment, yeah.
It's not 1 month out of the year you're going to be good at it. It's year-round. On the off season, what we were getting at is to build your muscles, you can hold your bow. Probably the best way maybe is just be shooting it more, but if you're where there's no target, you know, if you're at home in a house or somewhere vacationing, you can't be shooting your bow, just to hold it up like this.
Right.
Build your strength in your arm. And then what we were talking about, you can go over this a little bit more, but when your arm was stretched out like this, what did you call it?
Protraction.
Yep. And when I do that, I can feel like I'm getting weak and tired fast, you know. But if I get this, what is it called?
Retraction.
Retraction is like in and low. I could hold it a lot longer, a lot steadier, because
the whole deal with protraction versus retraction, which is Gary's referring to, is protraction when your shoulder is out more or less and unstabilized within the socket and we are not stable. Retraction would be when you pull your shoulder cavity back into its socket to contain a stability within that joint, okay? A retraction exercise by holding that bow would be a lot more efficient to hold that bow through time, meaning
less injuries.
Less injuries. Whenever you get that perfect shot, you're going to be more aptable to hold that bow for longer.
You'll hold steadier too.
You'll hold steadier. And for the most part, Gary knows too, you just want correct mechanics when you're performing shooting archery.
Yeah. Hey, James, every day people come into the store and their shoulder is stretched out like this when they shoot, and they tell me they're a 30-inch draw. And if they would drop that, what we were just going over, what's that called?
Shoulder back into retraction.
Retraction. They'd go from a 30-inch draw to a 28-inch draw. They'd be totally relaxed and they'd be able to hold steadier and shoot longer without getting tired.
Absolutely, Gary. And those are the procedures and some of the progressions that at home that you can work on without having that bow in your hand. Heck, you can even do it at work. Pick up a pop can, hold your bow out, push your shoulder into retraction, and then sink that shoulder back into retraction, okay? Or excuse me, push that shoulder into protraction and then squeeze that shoulder back into retraction and just kind of hold it there for a time being. And then if we want to, we can always get our hands out in front of us, protract this scapular region and then retract this scapular region. And all this is doing is building stability within this posterior anterior shelf, your chest and your back.
I've been through a lot of intensive archery training, and that they taught us not what you're doing, but to get that shoulder down, and you're teaching me new ways to exercise that to be flexible enough to do it.
Absolutely. That's one of the main reasons that we advise people to, you know, start getting into the habitual repetition of drawing that bow back or getting that gun up to your shoulder, because the more you do it, the more repetition you have and the more it feels natural. And it's all about muscle memory.
Yeah, for sure.
Here are a couple, if you want, here are a couple exercises that you can do at home with a pop can, a soup can, whatever it would be, but the pop can or the soup can would be at your side, and what we would do is start with a lateral raise up to a 90-degree position in which you will feel your shoulder contracting. Yeah, just like that, and then you bring your shoulder back down. Second one is we're going to do a 45-degree angle with our thumb pointing towards the floor. We're going to hold that at a 90-degree angle for about 30 seconds and bring it back down. And the last one is going to be a front raise that's going to come to a 90-degree position in which we're going to hold, and we are going to bring it back down to our waist. Repeat over the course of time, about 5-6 sequences, about 5 or 6 sets, very light to a little bit of heavierness, not very heavy, okay? Try and stay lighter rather than heavier, and your progressions will improve. I want to thank Gary for allowing myself and Paternal CrossFit to come on the show.
No problem. Thanks, James.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We've been together 5 minutes and I learned stuff already.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
That's good.
As Gary and I were talking about earlier, I mean, a very, very professional archer here. And how many arrows do you think you've thrown in your life?
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, probably a million, really, like legitimately.
There's days, there's thousands a day sometimes.
Yeah, right. And that's how you get better. And when you get sore, you just respond. Right?
We can work on that stuff later too, like just shoot a lot, you get a sore back, or some people get sore legs because their legs are tense and their shoulders are sore. This arm hurts sometimes from holding their bow, so each week we could go over a little segment of that.
Absolutely. We can go over a plank, we could go over some push-ups, we could go over some abdominal stuff, but any preparation that we do prior to the season is really, really going to benefit us when it comes to those split-second decisions.
For sure.
Yeah.